Welcome viewers. In this presentation we will talk about learner centered approach of teaching. Sometimes it is called student centered also. Student centered also. In this learner centered approach, teacher's role is basically as a facilitator. In these lectures, I will try to cover the component of learner centered approach of teachings. What are the components? So, components, the learner centered approach of in pedagogy focuses on the needs and interest of the students rather than the teacher or the subject matter. In this approach, the teacher acts as a facilitator, guiding the learning processes and helping students to connect the material to their own experiences and goals. So, say for example, I am these own examples of their experiences and goals. This is very important. Say for example, I am trying to teach say gear or bearings. So, what are the functions of gears and what are the functions of bearings? First, basically learner centered approach of teaching starts with the need assessment. And not only that, this need assessment, this should be its own experiences and goals. Say for example, I was talking of, suppose somebody is driving a car, engine is producing power, how this power is transmitting to the device, how the wheel of the car is rotates, how it is transmitted. Or say if I want to guide a rotating element, what are the different methods? If I want to transmit a power very far from the sources, what are the methods? Very close to the sources, what are the methods? So, gear is used for transmitting power where the sources, that means power production unit and the use of it and the application is to some extent closer to each other. If it is a very far, it is basically for belt drives or chain drives. So, this is very vital, need assessment, and not only that, it should be as per his own environment. These examples should be, the teacher starts by assessing the individual's needs and interest of each student. This could include surveys, one-to-one conversations or group discussions. The second step of learner centered approach is create personalized learning plans. It must be appreciated that each and every individual learns his or her own pace and time. So, first, what his present status, what are the prerequisite knowledge he already have or not, this should be judged first. Then and then only I can tell that this method is applicable for an individual. So that's why this term is very important, personalized learning environment. This personal, everybody has its own pace of learning. So based on the needs assessment, the teacher creates a personalized learning plan for each student. This plan outlines the student's goals, learning styles and specific content or activities that will help them achieve those goals. And the third point is provide choices. The teacher provides a variety of learning activities and materials that allow students to choose the ones that best suit their learning style and interest. These could include hands-on projects or group works or online resources or independent studies. And the fourth point is foster active engagement. In fact, if I do this 1, 2 and 3 steps, then this foster active engagement already will happen, I believe. The teacher encourages the students to actively engage with the material and each other. This could include open-ended discussion or problem solving activities or peer-to-peer teaching. Then of course, the last one, any teaching processes ended with evaluating progress. So the teacher regularly evaluates the students' progress and adjusts the learning plan as needed. This evaluation could include self-assessment, informal check-ins or formal assessments. So what are the benefits? The benefits are, by taking a learner-centered approach, the teachers can create a dynamic and engaging learning environment that meets the needs of each student and helps them to achieve their full potential. So what I have discussed, these are the different steps of learner-centered approach of teaching. One of the major drawbacks in this process is it needs teachers' time, sufficient time, it needs sufficient infrastructures. So only then this approach can be used. So for example, in manufacturing technology, student-centered learning can be an effective approach to develop hands-on skills and knowledge. Here is an example how student-centered learning can be implemented in a manufacturing courses. In fact, the title of this topic is learner-centered approach of teaching. It is very, very relevant to any engineering discipline, as engineering discipline is basically application of science. So unless otherwise students does not do anything with their hand, that may not be fruitful. Traditionally, a manufacturing technology course might involve lectures on topics and such as machining, welding and quality control and so on, followed by lab sessions where students would practice these skills or predefined projects. So these are the traditional methods of teaching. So in a student-centered learning environment, the instructor would first assess the students' prior knowledge and skills and then work with them to develop a project that aligns with their interest and changes them at an appropriate level. For example, let us say a group of manufacturing technology students are interested in 3D printing, say. The instructor assigning a predefined project, the instructor could work with the students to develop a project that allows them to explore a specific areas of 3D printing that they are passionate about. 3D where it is specially applicable. 3D printing is specially applicable for the products which are complex in nature. So, this might involve designing and printing a complex objects, experimenting with different materials and settings, or exploring the use of 3D printing in manufacturing applications where it can be used. There are so much manufacturing processes where specifically it should be beneficial. Actually 3D printing is a costly technology, each and every year we can't use because there are so many cheap alternatives is available. So, students should explore where the specific application of the 3D printing is. Throughout the project, the instructor would provide guidance and support, but the students should have a high degree of autonomy. So, student-centered approach, this is one of the key characteristics of student-centered approach. High degree of autonomy in deciding what to focus and how to approach the problem. This would allow them to take ownership of their learning and develop important skills which is very much important, as well as critical thinking, problem solving, and also of course creativity. In addition to developing technical skills, student-centered learning in manufacturing technology can also help students develop important soft skills such as communication, collaboration, project management. By working on a project that aligns with their interest and passion, students are more engaged and motivated and better to be able what they have learned in real world situations. By incorporating student-centered learning into the manufacturing technology curriculum, students are better prepared to enter the workforce with the skills and knowledge needed to succeed in the industry. So, what I am trying to tell, comparing to the other subjects, student-centered learning is an essential and integral part of engineering disciplines. So, in these lectures, I have tried to cover the different components of student-centered learning approach. I have tried to give an example like 3D printing, how this can be used in student-centered learning approach. And thank you very much. I invite you to join in my next lectures. Thank you very much.